All right, welcome back to the Homestand Show. James Sharman, Justin Pooney. Joining us now is the man, the myth, the legend, Andrew Zuber, a.k.a. the Zoobs, the host of the Left Field podcast. How you doing, Zoobs?
I feel great. You guys smell that?
Well done.
I think baseball is in the air.
You smell the grass. You hear the crack of the bat. Yeah.
Sweet smell of, I thought we were talking about poutine dogs.
So basically, I tried that on the first two takes of this. It didn't work out. Thanks for Zoobs for bringing that back around. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
The Blue Jays back in action in the MLB tomorrow against the St. Louis Cardinals. They open up the season with a 10-game road trip. But the first question I want to ask you, Zoobs, is probably the most important one. Over under 5.5 poutine hot dogs this season at the Dome.
For me?
Yes.
Total or in one sitting?
Total. I'm saying the whole season.
The fact that you even asked the question is in one sitting might say everything.
Touche. I'm probably going to go under. The perverted curiosity is going to get the better of me. I'm going to have it at least once. My prime days of gorging myself on food like that are dwindling, and I don't know that poutine hot dog is like what I want to fill the end of those days on. I've had to, as you get older, you have to like cut out certain things that you like. I've cut out poutine as a meal, as a concept. That's no longer a part of my life. I've had to say goodbye to that era.
Yeah, our producer Sean has definitely not cut out poutine as a meal. He loves.
He's a 2 a weeker, isn't he?
Yeah, he loves his poutine. But yeah, no, seriously, once you get to a certain age, like mid-30s, at least that's where I'm at. Like it damages the plumbing.
Just wait till you're in mid-40s, mate.
I know, but you would crush those poutine dogs.
I still will, because I have great self-loathing for myself.
But nothing to look out.
No, Zoobs is right though. The curiosity will make me want to eat
100%.
The hot dog. 100%. All right, let's talk about some baseball. Forget about the hot dogs. I never heard of a hot dog get more airplay in my life than a poutine
well,
dog.
I don't know about that.
Okay, we're not going there. Zoobs, everybody's talking about this Blue Jay team, and they have incredible expectations for them. We heard Kevin Kiermaier saying that 100 wins is quote unquote very attainable. Where are you at with the expectations for the Blue Jays this season?
100 wins is very hard to do and has not been done by any Blue Jays team ever. You think of the 93 team when they had literally Ricky Henderson added in the middle of that season, and all-stars up and down, and the best 1 through 5 you could possibly have, and 3 guys finishing the batting title. That team didn't win 100 games. That being said, the AL, it's a little softer than it was. Like, of all the big load-ups that happened this offseason, a lot of them happened in the NL. I am not quite at 100 games, but I think they're a better team than they were last year. They were very talented last year, and you know, the low 90s total was very good, but it felt like they left something on the table, and they made a lot of small mistakes. And what they've done this year is address those with guys who do the little things right. Dalton Varsho is a very good base runner, a very good fielder. Kevin Kiermaier, probably the best center fielder of this generation defensively. Brendan Belt is a guy who does everything right. They really shaved down the edges and kept the core of a talented team in place, but they've gone and had some guys who do the little things, who are versatile and do the things that win games. So I can see it happening. I think this is a really a really volatile actually team, because it doesn't take a lot to also see this team struggling in terms of George Springer hasn't played a full season as a Blue Jay yet, and he's entering his mid-30s, speaking of your poutine dogs behind you. Kevin Kiermaier has not played a complete season since like 2018. Brandon Belt was very bad last year because he had leg issues. They've added veterans to supplement the young core. And listen, every team in every sport in every league every year, it's like, if they stay healthy, things will be good. You want to stay healthy, but they're really gambled on health this year. So if it goes well, it's a complete team that really doesn't do anything poorly anymore, and you can pretty easy to see a 95 win season here, but also easy to see like 83 to 85 as well. So some variance. I am pretty warm on them though.
Still, I mean, a good start is crucial for this team. You think, but 10 games on the road to start the season, never ideal. What is the level of patience, do you think, for upper management with this team?
That's a great question, because each of the last 2 years, right, they've been 92, 93 wins, but both of those seasons they had crazy good Septembers. I think they were 18 wins last September and 19 wins in September before that. They basically saved their seasons in September. And, you know, we look at what the Yankees did last year. They won all those games in April, May, and June. And then it wasn't nearly as much pressure in July, August, September. And not that, you know, every game counts the same, but if you can bank those wins early, it does take a little bit of that pressure off. In terms of the front office, I mean, they're pot committed. This is the team. There's really no, like, you're not getting out of the Barrios money anytime soon. You're not getting out of any of these other guys. You have Bo locked up for an extended period of time. You got Vlad for the next 3 years. There's some small things like Matt Chapman is an expiring free agent, but guys like Springer, all the pitchers, they're all here for a long time. So I don't see a blow up coming. You can see some of the side pieces or the fringe pieces maybe being shuffled around, but I think this is the team they're going to go with this year and next. So even in a worst case scenario, I don't see a blow up coming. If that's sort of the direction you're thinking.
Brandon Belt, veteran guy, spent all those years in San Francisco, very successful time there. What will his impact be not only on the field, but more importantly in the clubhouse, having that veteran experience for young players like Bo and Vlad?
Justin, I think you nailed it here. I think he really is a guy that could be the swing guy. Like I really do believe that he's a guy that can. I mean, you sort of said in San Francisco, his path is really interesting because he's a guy who does a really good job of controlling at bats and doesn't swing at anything that isn't his pitch and does a very good job of getting pitchers to throw him fastballs that he can hit. And as a guy that's been a winner, Kiermaier sort of the similar thing, and Springer a similar thing, a guy that can show the path. I think he's going to be really valuable for someone like Bo Bichette, who is a really aggressive guy who sort of has his plan is to sort of swing at any strike. I think, Belt is a great example, as long as he's healthy and as long as he's there to be able to contribute, of a guy that sort of shows you the path of how you go about your business. And a sneaky guy that I think might benefit from Brandon Belt is Cavan Biggio. A similar approach, left-handed. The power has sort of maxed out at 14, 15 home runs. You could maybe see a ceiling where he creeps towards 20. That was Brandon Belt. Like he was not really a power-first guy in his early career. And then in 2021, he really put it together and started really attacking those pitches that are in his zone. So I think he really is a swing guy because last year he really struggled. He had a knee injury and that affected his ability to get around on the fastball. And then that affects your ability to hold up on the breaking stuff. And then that affects your ability on and on and on. You can't control those at bats in the same way. And you don't have the same power and pitchers end up not being afraid to challenge you. And then it sort of trickles down. If he is healthy and he is able to get even 80% of the 2021 form, I think that's a really important bat in the middle of the lineup. And he really represents, I think, perfectly the change in culture that you mentioned. Last year, Teoscar Hernandez, who I love, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who I tolerated. They were aggressive guys, free swinging, and if it didn't go well, it was sort of like a shrug and a laugh, and they made their mistakes in the outfield, and so be it. Brandon Belt, these guys are here to win. Brandon Belt is here to win. George Springer is here to win. Kevin Kiermaier is here to win. These guys and the pitching staff as well, Bassett, Gosman, these guys are in their 30s. It's not the young team that it was in 2019 and 2020. They've gone out and gotten veteran guys that are here to win rings. And I think that attitude, not that it's not going to be fun. It's still baseball. It's still 6 months. It's still 162 games. You have to take it a little bit lightly, but I do think there is going to be a bit of a shift in tone in that, like, not here to make mistakes and screw around. These guys are here. Veterans came here at the end of their careers to win games, and contributing to that is sort of the whole point for them.
Yeah, and I don't think you can underestimate the addition of Don Mattingly either on the
Certainly.
bench. We're speaking with Andrew Zuber of the Less Than Jays podcast. Zubes, the Yankees obviously have some serious injury concerns when it comes to their starting rotation. I would say advantage Blue Jays to start the season. How important is it now for the Jays to take advantage of that in this first month of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. The Yankees are an old team. They're similar to what I talked about with Springer and Kiermaier. The Yankees had that up and down the lineup. I mean, Josh Donaldson, pretty close to washed, we would say. Giancarlo Stanton hasn't played a full season in a while. Aaron Hicks has really fallen off. There's a lot of different places in that lineup where you could say those guys have taken steps back or have struggled. And yet they're still the Yankees. The Yankees and Rays, they could have anybody in that lineup and you would still say, well, those are probably going to be the 1-2. It's really frustrating. That's ball. That's life as a Blue Jays fan. I do, though, it's not too crazy. Like, I always sort of think when I'm doing these projections of you can project basically anything. Anybody, the Orioles could win the East, right? There's a way you could do it. You could look back at 2015 and say nobody thought the Jays were going to win that year, but they did. To me, the sort of script, the path that you see for the Blue Jays being the best team in the East isn't that crazy. It's not that there's not that many ifs that you have to go along. It's right. They have to be reasonably healthy, and the Blue Jays pitching, like if Barrios is good and Kikuchi is passable, they're in really good shape. That is sort of a huge thing for the Blue Jays, and that'll be really the test early in this season when you talk about April and May and that Yankees health. Can Manoah is very good. Gausman's been very good. Is Barrios going to be a guy that can contribute? If they have Barrios and they have Bassett and Kikuchi is anything but a disaster, that's a lot of good stuff to build on when you have the lineup that they have. So I think the pitching is really going to be paramount early in the season if they are going to mount that attack on the East and the Yankees when they are vulnerable.
So let's play a game here. It's not rapid fire. It's kind of like rather quick fire.
It's hard for me to not
say.
It's hard for me to not answer 3 questions
no,
at
you'll
once.
be fine.
I'll do my best.
It's called What is More Likely? Okay.
Yes.
We've got 3 of them here for you. So first is, what is more likely, Vladdy hits 50 or Bo wins the batting championship?
I think it's probably Vladdy hits 50. Bo. I've seen both of those projections going around. People are doing their bold prediction season, and I've seen both of those go around. I think it's probably Vlad hits 50. He's so good. He wasn't that good last year and was still really good. Bo, it's just a little too much aggressiveness to ever think that he's ever going to hit like 315, 320. But if he has a good start to the season, again, he's the guy that September has saved in the last 2 years. If he's just good through June, he has a very good chance at it. So I'm going to say Vlad 50.
All right, that'd be exciting. What is more likely, Gausman or Manoah? Who will be the ace by the end of the season?
Oh, I like this.
I think it's Gausman. I really do. I love Alek Manoah. I think makeup wise, he is like what you want in a number one. He born to be an ace, like wants the ball in big spots, has a bit of that FU attitude. Like, I'm going to go after your best guy and throw him my best pitch and he can't hit it. Kevin Gausman is a guy that when you dig into some of the advanced stuffs in velocity and movement and luck, he was really unlucky last year. Like, he was the shift he was vocal about and the outfield defense he was pretty vocal about. They went out and got guys to appease Kevin Gausman. I mean, Springer in right field, Kiermaier in center field, and Varsho in left. A lot of fly balls are going there to die. I think he is really effective, a guy that it's a simple recipe. He has one of the best pitches in baseball with that splitter. He offsets that with the fastball. It's meat and potatoes. It's not too complicated. A little bit of what we saw in Robbie Ray, just from the other handedness. I think Kevin Gausman at the end of this year, we're looking and going, wow, he really put it together this year, because some of those outlying numbers, the fielding independent pitching, he was better than Manoah last year. Depends on where you're looking and what you believe in, but I really do believe in the stuff that Kevin Gausman has, not to belittle how great Alek Manoah is.
Okay, finally, this is a big one. Actually, I heard Ken Rosenthal discuss this recently. What is more likely, the poutine hot dog or the $1 hot dog days? Which will be most popular?
I think $1 hot dog days remains king. I think until
the best days.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think poutine dog is sort of like your hype, your early season headlines. I think you get to $1 hot dog day and the people are dressed up like hot dogs and they're throwing them down and we have the total count being kept. I think $1 hot dog day stays king, no question.
Believe it or not, I was in Fresco, Texas once watching a Fresco, I forget the name of the team now, a minor league baseball game, and they had $1 hot dog day when I arrived there. $1 beer day was the next day, but I still fly back 7 of them. And to this day, I regret that.
And the plumbing is still paying for it till this day.
It's not great, Bertie.
What's that? The Fresno what?
The Rough
Fresco
Riders. That's
Rough
right. I should
Riders.
know that. Yeah, it's a great little park, by the way.
All right, 20 seconds left. Zoobs, thank you so much. I have so many more questions. We'll do this again soon. Guys, make sure you subscribe and listen to the Less Than Jays podcast, hosted by the one and only Andrew Zuber. Go subscribe to the Patreon as well. Zoobs is a great person. Zoobs, thanks once again.
The pleasure is all mine, as always, fellas.
All right, coming up next, us three, we're going to wrap up the show.